Nemo was a little girl who lived with her dad in a lighthouse on a small island. She loved this place very much. One day, her dad told her that if she could answer his question correctly, he would give her the keys to the lighthouse. He asked, "Why is the lighthouse made?" Nemo answered, "To show ships the way, help them find the right direction, and assist them in trouble." But her dad said, "This is not the right answer. The day you give me the correct answer, I will give you the keys." That night, her dad told her a story. He said that once, he and his friend went to the sea to find shiny pearls. But during a storm, his friend got lost and he never saw him again. Nemo listened to the story carefully. Then, her dad got a message about a storm at sea and had to leave for work. Later that night, while Nemo was sleeping, she suddenly woke up. A tsunami had hit their island, and water was coming inside the lighthouse. She dived into the water and saw her dad. As she swam toward him, a monster appeared and swallowed him. At that moment, Nemo woke up. It was just a dream. The next morning, some guards came and told Nemo that her dad had died. She was heartbroken and very sad. A lady officer told her that her dad wanted her to live with her uncle, but Nemo didn't want to leave the island. The officer gently told her, "My child, you cannot live here alone. You must go with your uncle." So, Nemo packed her things and went to live with her uncle. He was a rich man and happy to have her, but he didn't know how to take care of children. After her dad's death, Nemo became very quiet. One night, while she was sleeping, she woke up and saw something strange. Her favorite toy had come to life. Even more surprisingly, her bed had grown legs and was walking on its own, taking her toward the window. Nemo's bed sinks into the water and takes her to a magical world where she meets a man named Flip, who has two big horns on his head. Flip asks about her dad, and when Nemo sadly tells him that her dad has died, Flip also feels bad. He explains that he wanted a map from her dad, which can help him find shiny pearls and take her to a place called Slumberland, where every wish comes true and she might see her dad again. Excited by this, Nemo wakes up in the real world and begins searching for the map. The next day, her uncle takes her to school, where she meets a kind teacher and makes a new friend, telling him about her dad. At night, her uncle teaches her how to open locks, and later, Nemo finds her dad's map. The next morning, she secretly marks herself absent at school, sneaks into a restricted area, changes clothes, and falls asleep with her toy. In her dream, she gives the map to Flip, but he takes it and refuses to help her. Determined, Nemo insists on going with him to find her dad. Flip agrees, but warns her that she must take responsibility for anything that happens. He reveals that he stole the map from a police officer who is now after him. Together, they enter the magical world, where Flip teaches Nemo the rules. Never enter someone's dream, never look into anyone's eyes, and avoid getting caught by the police, or she will be trapped forever. They arrive at a place where leaf people are dancing, and another girl is enjoying her dream. Suddenly, the police officer appears, still chasing Flip, but before he can act, a terrifying monster, the same one Nemo saw in her dream, appears before them. Somehow, Flip saves Nemo from the monster and takes her to another place. He blames her, saying that the monster appeared because of her dream. Suddenly, Nemo feels something strange and disappears from the dream world, waking up in the real world. Her uncle picks her up from school and gives her a boat as a gift, but she refuses to take it. That night, her uncle tells her that life isn't over just because her dad is gone. She still has to live. However, Nemo is still heartbroken. She struggles to sleep until her uncle tells her a story, which finally makes her fall asleep. She returns to the dream world, where Flip takes the map from her and tells her to go home. But Nemo refuses, saying she has no home. She just wants to meet her dad. Flip tells her that she is still scared and that bad dreams are chasing her. Determined to continue her journey, Nemo asks Flip about his real identity, but Flip doesn't know who he is in the real world and says he hasn't woken up yet. They escape from the police officer by jumping into a truck, but the driver is just a small child who can't control it. The truck crashes into the water, and while they manage to escape, they are now drowning. They flee through a bathroom and enjoy their adventure, but the police officer finds them again. She shoots them, but instead of dying, they become trapped and start moving slowly. She tells Flip that she is 116 years old and wants to retire, but she is stuck in the dream world because of him. She believes Flip refuses to wake up because no one cares about him in the real world. She locks them in jail and leaves. After she's gone, Flip admits that she might be right, but he wants to wake up too. He just doesn't remember who he is. He hopes that going to Slumberland will help him remember. Later, the officer returns and gives Nemo a choice: return to her real world or stay in jail with Flip forever. Nemo insists she only wants to see her dad, but the officer tells her that she must move forward and wake up, or bad dreams will keep following her. Nemo wakes up crying and tells her uncle that she misses her dad. Her uncle then shows her a video, and Nemo realizes realizes that he is wearing the same clothes as Flip in her dreams. He explains that when he was a child, he was very shy. When he and her dad played, he would wear all kinds of costumes. But after her mom came into her dad's life, they traveled the world, leaving him behind. He looks sad as he shares his story. Nemo tells her uncle that her dad used to tell her stories about him every night. The next morning at school, she sneaks away to the same secret place and falls asleep, returning to the dream world. Using the key her uncle gave her, she unlocks Flip's jail cell and helps him escape. As they run, the police officer spots them again. But this time, Nemo traps her in a time loop using her own gun. Flip and Nemo take a picture together before continuing their journey. They arrive at a snowy place, but the officer is still chasing them. To escape, they jump from a great height and land on giant birds, which take them to a small house near a lighthouse. There, Nemo realizes the truth. Flip is actually her uncle in the dream world. Just then, her teacher wakes her up in the real world and calls her uncle, who is furious when he finds out what she has been doing. At home, he scolds her for lying and skipping school, saying he hoped she would make friends, not run away from reality. That night, as heavy rain pours, an upset Nemo takes the boat her uncle gave her and sails toward the lighthouse. She falls asleep on the boat and finds herself in the sea, just as her dad had described. She heads toward a massive hole under the water, the entrance to Slumberland. Flip, still in the dream world, realizes that Nemo has gone to the Sea of Dreams. As Nemo searches, she finally finds and grabs a shiny pearl. But before she can use it, a monster appears. Flip arrives in a plane and saves her, but the monster destroys their aircraft, forcing them into danger. The monster is now attacking dreams, causing everyone to wake up in the real world. Meanwhile, in reality, Nemo's uncle is desperately searching for her. As Nemo's boat begins to sink, she starts drowning in real life. The pearl slips from her hand, and in the dream world, the monster captures Flip. Just as Flip disappears in the dream world, her real world uncle jumps into the water to save her. Dream world. The officer arrives and sees the pearl in Nemo's hand. She tells Nemo that dreams are just illusions. There is no truth behind them. But Nemo refuses to believe it and walks to the lighthouse, where she finally sees her dad. Overjoyed, she runs to him, and they climb to the top of the lighthouse, laughing and playing together. Meanwhile, in reality, her uncle is desperately trying to wake her up. In the dream world, her dad tells her that she has completed this journey alone, and she must continue to do so in the future. He reminds her that the real world is waiting for her and that she must return. With that, Nemo wakes up in reality, where her uncle embraces her and promises never to leave her alone again. The next day, Nemo is shown happily at school, surrounded by new friends. The film ends with her finally moving forward in life.